Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. It's part 125 today and we are back to finish and conclude season 13. We've won the Welsh Premier League and today we have our final game at Llandudno for the chance to wrap up yet another quadruple against Aberystwyth in the Welsh Cup final. Now, it's more important than you think that we win that, because if we don't, Aberystwyth get into Europe and it could cost Barry Town United a place. TNS and Barry, the two that are starting to progress, we need Barry to be in there next year. So we'll give them the best possible chance. If you're looking forward to the episode and seeing how we get on, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 videos from two long-term stories. We've got plenty more to come, including a big transfer special and a summer where we've got to look forward to European qualifiers for other teams such as TNS this year. And of course the head coach is flying too. Of course, you can catch up with all the other playlists in the eye above. There's going to be a massive transfer special and good European qualifiers here next year. We'll be watching like a hawk the other sides and just hoping one can sneak through. We're on the cusp of something great. But for now, we've got to talk about what's been happening since you were last with me. That includes a youth intake we've got to look at. That also includes looking at the schedule for our recent results. And hopefully a little glimpse into a very good future for Bangor City. So let's start with the schedule as always. You were with me as we lost 4-0 away at Norwich in the second leg of the last 16 of the Europa League. The curse struck again, but not by quite as much this time. We followed that up though with 6 straight wins, lots of goals, only a couple conceded. We've been great. We won 4-1 at home to Barry Town United. Our former man Josh Thomas scored, but an early red card made it too easy. It was a Kane Walters hat-trick and youngster Kyo Bulkley with a goal. We then won 5-0 in the final of the SPFL Trust Trophy. We were right not to show it against the reserve side of Dundee United. 4 goals for McKinnon and 1 for Tom Jones against the side we did our live stream series with. But what a game it was. What a result. That was the treble wrapped up. We followed it up with a 2-0 win at Colwyn Bay. Loza and Whittaker scored there. We were lots of players down due to internationals, but we still managed to get a comfortable win. The same against TNS in the semi-final of the Welsh Cup. We did concede 2, which was a little disappointing, but we did that against them in the League Cup as well, so I'm not going to get too worried. Malone, Walters and a Loza brace got us wrapped up before half-time. Before back-to-back wins in the league, 3-0 against TNS, Walters, McKinnon and Whittaker getting 1 apiece, and then 5-0 last time out against Cardiff Met Uni. Again, a red card for our opponents, this time right at the end, but by that point Bulkley had scored a brace of penalties and Kelly, Whittaker and Walters had each got 1 apiece. So we're in perfect shape going into these 2 games. No injuries, no problems, no suspensions at all. We've just got our strongest squad available. So we're going to go and get into those 2 matches in a moment. 8 days between them, so we should be able to play our first team throughout. But let me very quickly start with the under-18s and show you what's happened in our youth intake. So rather alarmingly, there were only 2 players in our youth intake that the assistant or director of football recommended we signed. Those were Alex Clark, who is a 16-year-old holding midfielder. Not the best in the world, but he's got an okay personality. He works pretty hard. He's just not quite got all of the overall attributes. He's very good in the air. He's a proper anchor man. Not really a technical player. So I'm sure he'll be able to make it in the Welsh League. He's got 3-star potential, 1-star ability. The other one was 15-year-old centre-half Colin Thomas. Now, he's very good in the tackle, but hasn't got much else. He's 6'2", but not great in the air. Not good positioning, not strong, though that will come with age. And again, 1-star ability, 3-star potential. I think he'll be alright later down the line. The main thing with those 2 is they're good trainers with decent personalities, so they should at least reach their potential. Now, there are a few others that we're keeping an eye on with 2.5-star potential that we haven't yet offered a deal to. I think I'll probably offer them to anyone who's got a good sort of personality or mentality for the game. Because if we can get people trained, if we can get them doing well, then why not in the future give them an opportunity? However, the one thing I have got to add is that some of our youngsters who are out on loan or at the club from last year's intake have improved. And they're ones that we hadn't really heard of or spoken about. So it does suggest to me that if we take a punt on a few, we might get a reward. I mean, the best example of that is Guto Ashworth, a 1.5-star 17-year-old fullback. He came in last year's youth intake, wasn't really rated at all. Got 2.5-star potential, but you can see already from his attributes, he's becoming a very decent player. And I could see him playing for one of the top half sides next year on loan. So, having just turned 17, he's already developed a huge amount. And that's something we have to bear in mind. 6 goals and 6 assists from 30 non-competitive games. He's playing for Wales at the very low youth levels. He's a good footballer. So we've got to give people a chance because we can give them development that other nations can't and other clubs within a nation can't. So that's something I'm going to keep my eye on for the next year or two. There are a few out on loan that are starting to reach their potential. We'll be trying to keep them at their feeder clubs next season. But for now, let's go and get into the first of today's two games. We've wrapped up the Welsh Premier League in pretty convincing style. 86 points, a plus 111 goal difference. It's a shame we just had that wobble at the start, really. And having won the League Cup and the SPFL Trust Trophy, sneaking into the last 16 of the Europa League, this win and the Welsh Cup victory next week would give us a quadruple and another very good season. We are looking at people we can get back for another year. We've tried to loan Reyes again. He's now an official wonder kid. He's developing so quickly. But unfortunately, the 4 loan limit for the season means we're going to have to wait till it runs out, or at least until the season ticks over. We've set up a few new contracts, so there's not many that expire in the next 2 years. It's actually only really a couple of transfer listed ones like Carl Lacey, and then the real emergency backups, so like Burrows and Kopp. Aside from that, everyone's actually got a 2-year or more deal. But everyone's here till at least 2035, and some of the superstars, the likes of Bulkley, Lloyd, Jones, Walters, here for 4 to 5 years. We really are in good shape, so I'm very excited about the immediate future of this football club. We just need help next year, and I feel like TNS and Colwyn Bay in particular have taken a step this season. Barry on their day are great. TNS actually under transfer embargo at the moment. They've got a takeover talk from a local investor. Currently them and Colwyn Bay are second and third. They will definitely be in Europe next year, and it's just whether Barry Town United can get through the playoffs. For us though, against Llandudno, we'll go as strong as we can, bar a couple of youngsters that need football. So Bulkley came into centre midfield for Reyes. We've brought in Morgan at right back for McDonald. 2 of the loan players going out. And Loza at the age of 22 will do the same. He can come in for Ewan McKinnon. And I think that'll be our squad for today. First 11 and 18, it doesn't really change a huge amount. And this is the team we're going for in this one. It's George Wickens in goal. Morgan and Bektas the fullbacks with Kelly alongside Whittaker at centre half. Harvey Lloyd, Chris Broom, Kyo Bulkley and Tom Jones the midfield diamond. With Kresimir Loza alongside Kane Walters up front. Poor start to the season for Walters. Still got his way up to 45 goals. 23 and 17 in the league. He's a superstar. Kane Walters to the rescue. Let's go and get into the final day of the season. We can relax having won the title. But we're going to show Liam Connor onto his weaker foot as recommended. Gareth Doran's the skipper for Llandudno. They've got another top half finish in fairness. He came on loan from us and then joined them permanently after his contract expired. Macaulay Power was at Barry Town United. He's now at Llandudno too. So you can see the quality gradually filtering down the league. And it will take a few years for the others to catch up. But if we can get 3 or 4 consistently in Europe and earning a good amount of money each year, I think we will be in good shape soon. I'm hoping one of them can reach the group stages out of Colwyn Bay and Barry and go professional in the next 3 or 4. So I'd like to have a big finish to this save. For now though, it's been a boring first 15 minutes. We have had the better of the shots and the chances. We've not made it count. It's still 0-0 and Llandudno will be very happy with that. And it's them coming forward on the right hand side with Holland taking a throw in by the corner flag. Kelly hoofs away the cross into the box. Only as far as Jenkins on the left though, and he keeps it for Masters. I've got to talk about average attendances between the games as well as we win it back, because we actually had a record league attendance a few weeks back. I know it was for a fan day as Walters puts in for 1-0. Lovely through ball from Chris Broom. And yeah, I know it was for a fan day against Barry Town United, one of the bigger sides in the league. But we actually topped 3,000 for a league game for the very first time. That's a massive achievement for the football club, and I hope for Welsh football moving forward. With 10 minutes to the break here though, it's been a very comfortable performance. Certainly by no means vintage, we've not been top notch. But with a free kick into the box, it could be 2, and it is 2. Kresimir Loza has been unhappy and complaining for a lot of the second half of the year. But he's somehow still finished with 40 goals. He will get the golden boot for the league season. He's been a superstar. 2-0 at half time, we're very confident. And our backup players are the best they've ever been. So let's get into the second half, let's try and see it out. So at the moment, we look pretty unstoppable. We've been fantastic for the whole second half of the year. As it's a throw on the right-hand side for Holland. Llandudno having their fair share of chances in this game. Whittaker heads away the cross though, as the final ball just not good enough. We've reached the hour mark, so we will make some changes soon. As Walters flicks on for Kresimir Loza. Beats his defender with ease. It's a brilliant run. And it's tipped over the bar by Carroll. Loza went for power on his weaker foot rather than trying to place it. In the end, it probably cost him the goal, as Bulkley takes the in-swinging corner and Doran, our former youngster, heads away. Probably played in the same youth team as the likes of Jones at some point. So he's going to be making the most of this experience. But with 8 days to the cup final, we want to keep everyone fresh. So let's bring Reyes on for Chris Broom. I mean, I'm tempted almost to bring Malone on, though Reyes not quite fit, so we'd like to keep him in shape ahead of next week. We're going to bring on the youngster Kai Owen for Tom Jones. We'll put Bulkley in the number 10 role. It's an opportunity we don't often get. And then at the back, Jerome Kelly has not had a rest for months, so Scott McKenzie on for him. And with 20 minutes to go, we'll enjoy what should be a comfortable victory. Llandudno still no shots on target, as Loza takes a free kick. Brilliant save, Carroll. Walters just beaten to the rebound. We just look so threatening. Whenever we go forward, we create good chances. The goalkeepers are often having blinders against us, but they can't keep everything out, as Bektas plays into Walters again. Good block by the defender. Reyes to Owen, the youngster, to Harvey Lloyd. Owen only made his debut last week. It's his second appearance this, as Gwyn Morgan overlapping on the right drills one into the far corner. Not had much football, had a lot of injuries this second half of the year. And I think that's the thing that impresses me most. Him, Tom Jones, Kyo Bulkley. I mean, even a couple of the other players that are more experienced. They have had injury troubles this year, and we've coped with it as well as ever. So it's a long ball forward by Llandudno, dealt with comfortably by the defenders, and it just peters out. With 10 minutes to go, it's a comfortable 3-0 lead for Bangor. Well, 3 minutes of stoppage time, pretty uneventful. It is a 3-0 win for Bangor City. It's an excellent display on the final day of the season. And it's a comfortable win yet again. It's the perfect warm-up for what should be a very comfortable cup final against Aberystwyth. They're a side we've often beaten comfortably the last couple of years. We'll be hoping for that again in 8 days' time. They've finished their season with a defeat to Airbus. They finish 8th. They won't even be in the European playoffs. So they've got to win the cup final to have a chance, or else it'll be Barry Town who are favourites in the playoffs. Welsh Cup final time, quadruple opportunity time. John Price and Matty Whittaker both struggling for fitness. I think they'll both have the light orange injuries today. I don't think they'll be fit. So let's go and have a look, shall we? Yeah, we're right. So I'm not going to risk either of them. We're in a position where we should win regardless. We're not going to need the youth player. Let's get our first 11 back in to start with. So McDonald, Reyes. Tom Jones has had a poor finish to the season, so Bulkley can start number 10 instead. McKenzie will come in at centre-half because of that injury. He'll play alongside Kelly. Kelly's been good at left centre-half, so we'll leave him there. The substitutes bench, McKinnon can come back into the lineup for Walters, and then it's just who the fourth substitute is. Do we go for Weaver? Do we go for maybe Pasiarek because he's a centre-half naturally? I think he might be the best man. Or Rosario, it could be his last appearance. He's not willing to sign terms with us after the summer yet. He didn't enjoy his loan spell with us. Before that, he said he wasn't happy enough with the stature of us or Welsh football. So it looks like he'll be going this year. Though he did peter out in the second half, in fairness. This is the lineup we're going for, though, for the cup final. So McDonald, McKenzie, Reyes and McKinnon come in. Tom Jones, Gwyn Morgan, and then the injured Whittaker and Kresimir Loza drop out. Fingers crossed we can get the win. 4 trophies out of 4 would do it. And most importantly, our win here would allow Barry Town to get into Europe. And for Welsh football, that's a very good thing. Let's see if we can do it. And here's the lineup. Owen McMinamy still leading the line for Aberystwyth. Not much else in terms of quality across the squad. It's going to be interesting to see how this game pans out. You would expect us to be really heavy favourites. They're one of those sides that play in a way we should be able to dominate them. Let's see what tactic they come out with today. They're going for the back 3. That can work out either way. We sometimes struggle when there's a front 2 against us. But if they don't get any service to them, we'll be alright. As Smith, the left wing back, picks it up. Gives it back to Davidson. They're keeping possession nicely there. Though eventually we forced a mistake. It goes to Kai McDonald at right back. Don't forget him and McKinnon already signed on to stay here next year. So we're not going to have to do a huge amount in the transfer window other than really bolster that squad. As Bulkley gets the ball from Bektas, got space to run into, releases Walters, it drops down to McKinnon, Reyes plays a 1-2 with Broom, and the shot's blocked on the edge of the box. Only goes as far as McDonald though, and it's a second wave of attacks. Out on the right wing, down the line to McKinnon, he's got a man in the middle in Walters! The keeper didn't know whether to stick or twist. And Kane Walters gets number 47. Over 110 goals in his last 2 seasons. And Kane Walters, £1.2 million. Don't forget, we were worried about whether that was going to end up being a costly fee at the time. It has been a bargain. He's replaced Greg Pringle and Moore as Reyes picks the ball up in the middle again, releases Walters, plays into McKinnon, staying next season as well, and we won't mind if he finishes like that. His 39th of the season, just 8 minutes gone, and we've already pretty much wrapped up the cup. 2-0 Bangor City, Aberystwyth in disarray, and one more for McKinnon gets him to the 40 mark too. Fingers crossed. Well, a slightly calmer 10 minutes, but it is a throw for Aberystwyth deep in their own half again. The hoof down the line, and Connor does well to hold it up. He'll release his McMinamy. We've been caught out of the back here. Owen McMinamy gets in. It's a really good save from Wickens. Tips the first one away from danger, gets to the second one to keep it in, and then the cross into the box from us at the other end is headed down by Walters into the keeper's grasp. But they have got a threat on the counter. They're going forward again here. Broom kicks the ball against McMinamy and Kelly has to mop up. Just a little bit of complacency and a lack of composure at the back at times. As Broom comes down the left wing again, plenty of time on the ball and plenty of support inside of him. Tries to go all the way. Can he get the delivery in? He does to Ewan McKinnon. It's a good block by the defender. It's out for a corner kick. Kyo Bulkley will take the youngster, but this has been a wonderful attacking display. As Bulkley puts it in again, Kelly with a free header. Just over the crossbar. Keeper was beaten, no man on the back stick, but they survive it. Still just 2-0. And they've got a throw on the right hand side with Bamford. Takes it short to Dackers. Over the top to McMinamy. He's in here, you know. Wickens comes out and mops up. Don't know why he didn't pick it up. Plays out short. It's worked out, though, as we go for a long clearance, which finds its way through to McKinnon. 40 goals for the season. Harvey Lloyd accredited with the assist. It was more a clearance than anything else. But what a partnership those two have got. You forget Greg Pringle even played for us at this rate. Wonderful, wonderful play. 3 shots on target, 3 goals. 30 minutes gone, and it's a comfortable win. We know it's going to be a quadruple, and we know we've got to rely on Barry Town now. As Bulkley gets a lucky deflection, he gets himself in one-on-one as a result. Gives the keeper the eyes, opens his body up like he's going to play across the keeper. The traditional finish into the far corner. Instead, just passes it in off the near post. It's brilliant. I know we beat Aberystwyth quite comfortably a lot of the time, but you've got to appreciate ruthless displays like this. We're getting better. We're slowly getting better, and we need to make it count next year. And we need other sides too as well. 4-0 at half-time. The expected goals is over 3. One good chance from McMinamy at the other end. Aberystwyth have broken away a few times, but we've done enough, and we're comfortably deserving to lead this game. And we're going to win the cup. We've got to be happy. As we've got a free kick in centre midfield. Kelly's dropped back to take it, gives it to Bulkley and now Bektas. 10 minutes gone in this second half and he's running down the left wing. Jones nicks it off him, goes long downfield. Who's going to get there? Should be Kelly first. Beats the striker to it. Broom plays wide to Bektas. Inside to Reyes. Not played for a couple of games, but charging through midfield now with fresh legs. McDonald's out at right back if he can find him. He does. Inside to Harvey Lloyd. Reyes releases McDonald, who's straight onto the centre halves. Cuts it into Kyo Bulkley. Brought down for the penalty kick. Now, McKinnon's on a hat-trick here, but Bulkley is a better penalty taker. I feel like we have to give it to Bulkley. I think it will still get given to McKinnon, even though we've tried to change it. Let's see. It has. Ewan McKinnon on a hat-trick, into the corner for 5-0. And there's a moment he'll remember. We tried to prevent it, but it wasn't successful enough. Ewan McKinnon 3, Bangor City 5. And Aberystwyth in complete and utter disarray. They just don't know how to cope with us. As McDonald heads away a free kick again. McKinnon releases Kane Walters. He wants a second. Oh, he tries to dink the keeper. Great block by the defender. He's brought down again. That's almost a penalty too. Dackers brings it away eventually. And it's up towards Connor. With 25 to go, we can make some changes. And we can actually just enjoy this game. So which of the youngsters can we bring on? Tom Jones deserves a run out. He's going to come on for Christopher Broom. And then Kyo Bulkley will drop into centre mid. We're also going to have McDonald at right back, replaced by Morgan. And Pasiarek on at centre half for Mackenzie. I mean, it's such a luxury to have these players now. And with making 3 substitutions, we've barely weakened the team. It's an incredible position to be in. 15 minutes to go here. Bulkley with a free kick into the back post to Jerome Kelly. Wonderful finish. It's a lovely delivery. Had plenty of whip on it. The keeper didn't know whether to come. It was in between him and the defenders. He just couldn't quite get there quick enough. So the centre-half adds to the score sheet. It's 6-0 on the day. And Bangor City are going to be lifting their 4th trophy of the year. What started as a pretty worrying start to the season. We were dropping points in the Welsh League. We were losing games against TNS and the likes. And we almost didn't get through in the Champions League to face Europe after Christmas. And now we're at this 7-0 against Aberystwyth in the Welsh Cup final. Kane Walters with a ridiculous finish. Ahmed Bektas with the assist. It's a lovely display. I'm running out of superlatives. We've been that good. We've just got to break that record next year. Get to the last 8 in the Europa League. Go invincible again. Something along those lines. But this is one hell of a start. 4 trophies, a 7-0 win to finish. We'll watch ourselves lift the trophy. It's going to be Harvey Lloyd who steps up to lift it above his head in front of a packed house of Bangor City fans. Here we go, 7-0. We've certainly done it in convincing style. Harvey Lloyd the man, the team in celebration as Bangor City lift the Welsh Cup. And how many years in a row is that now? We need stopping. We need TNS to make it. But for now, we'll enjoy our dominance again. We'll be back in a moment for the end of season review ahead of what's going to be a very big summer for Welsh football. 4 trophies again for Bangor City Football Club, but it's been a big year for us. We've got record transfers coming in the shape of Kelly first, then Bektas. Both of them offered huge contributions at the back. Rosario, a brilliant loan player. Reyes, we're desperately trying to keep next season. A really solid backup keeper in Robson, and some good squad players as well. The only disappointment is Maxwell, who we paid big money to for Bala. He's actually going backwards there, if anything. So I'm not sure that that's been money well spent. But a really good season regardless in the window. A comfortable one in the league, 29 wins out of 32. Just that shaky start. A 12-0 win stole the show against Monmouth. We were comfortable against Dinamo Kiev, winning 4-0 in the Champions League qualifiers. Remember the fact we beat Shakhtar 10-0? How on earth's that not mentioned on here? And then a brilliant win 6-0 against Newtown with goal of the season for Ewan McKinnon. He's been brilliant again. The finances looking absolutely top shape. A brilliant first 11 for the season. Not much I can argue with there. Maybe Reyes ahead of Malone. Maybe Tom Jones ahead of Bulkley. They're the only 2 I could suggest. Otherwise, a wonderful, wonderful team. A brilliant manager for us. We've got record breakers. Rosario got a double hat-trick in a match. Kai McDonald, 26 assists for the season. And a record transfer for Ahmed Bektas. The fullback's making history yet again. But 4 trophies, a brilliant season. And plenty to look forward to for Welsh football. Let me very quickly, as promised before we sign off, show you what's happened this season in terms of the attendances. So this is the thing we're looking out for the most. TNS's highest attendance this season is over 1,000. That hasn't happened for a long time. Their average attendance is over 500. Ours is nearly 2,000 now. And Barry's, I mean, just the overall attendances are slightly higher than before. They're not going up as quick as we'd like, but I feel like that will increase more quickly if one of them can make the European group stages. So that's something we'll look forward to. We're going to be back in July with what should be another big transfer special. If you're looking forward to it, seeing if one of those sides can finally reach the group stages and our further development through the European coefficient, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. You can see all the playlists in the eye above, as well as the link to the Twitch channel with regular live streams over there too. So please do follow us if you haven't already, and a massive thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time for a transfer special with Bangor City. It should be a cracker. Fingers crossed we can get some new stars into the club. I'll see you there.